Hello YouTube. What we're working on here is a 1990 Ford F150 with the 5.0 liter motor, EFI, the 302. What I'm doing, I wanted to make this video because I can't find any on this part. It's the throttle positioning sensor. You can find them of people taking them on and off all day, but you got to do a voltage test. Now, I'm new with all this stuff, especially Ford. I don't like Ford. I'm not a Ford guy. I'm carburetor guy, Chevy guy. Give me a Chevy carbureted all day and I can do whatever, but pretty new to the whole electronic fuel injection thing. I've only been messing with this stuff for a year or two now, just because all the other stuff's easier, more reliable, less stuff to go wrong. That's what I like. I like getting rid of everything that could go wrong. You know, one of those, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. I can't remember what theory that is. Anyway, so I'm making this video because, like I said, you can't find anyone doing a voltage test on these. Now, the sensors on these are non-adjusting, and I read a couple forums, read some stuff up, and apparently the best route to go is to modify these or buy the Ford Mustang 5.0 adjustable throttle positioning sensor. Okay, now you can see the white dots I put on here. I got one here, one here. So what you want to do, you want to be able to adjust it in a clockwise motion. That raises the voltage that you need. Apparently the voltage that you need, according to the book, says between 0.95 volts and 1.0 volt. Now, I've been reading some guys run as high as 0.99 and 1.0, but from what I've been reading, I don't know anyone personally that does this, so it's been a lot of reading. And I've been reading that it's usually, most people run about 0.98. So that's what I did, and that's, like I said, I only cut this side and this side of the housing so I can turn it clockwise. So I wanted to see what it would have been at on a base. Now I did that, and I only read, I think it was 0.73 volts, I think, and that would be way low. According to what everyone says, that would be not good, because I started working on this truck. I've had so many issues. I'm hoping I'm getting it figured out. I got it and I drove it for a while. The only reason I got this truck for free. I never pay for a Ford. I got this truck for free. It was given to me, and it ran all right before it. Kind of had to baby it when it was cold. It lagged power really bad, but it fired on everything. And I was doing little things here and there. The freaking the ignition control module on the side of the distributor went out, so I ended up just buying the whole freaking distributor, because I bought the coil first thinking it was just the coil. Bought the coil, wasn't it? I'm like, oh yeah, ignition control module, that's got to be the next thing in line. And I had to take the distributor out to take it off. Well, I took that distributor out and it was hard. It was hard to spin. Couldn't hardly move it. It was just creaky and like it was full of rust and rocks and dirt or something like that. It was terrible. So I ended up just buying a new one. They're not that expensive, surprisingly, for all the other parts on this freaking truck that are really, really expensive. But so I've been doing stuff, and that made it run quite a bit better, and doing, the regular things, air filter, cleaning everything up, cleaning connections, all that kind of stuff. Well, I decided to do plugs and wires one day. Oh boy, was that a fucking mistake. Excuse my language. But I changed the plugs and wires, and now it's missing, hopping, skipping. When I first did it, it was it run great while it was cold, like more power it's ever had, and since I drove it, it actually surprised me. And like I said, I'm not a Ford guy, and it put me back in the seat when it hit the upper RPMs, because I always read that you can hit 4,000, 4,500 RPM, and I could never get it up there. It wouldn't get up that high before. I'm like, God, it's you know, it's starving, and it's choking. It needs to shift. It wouldn't skip. It wouldn't miss. It would just lag out about 2,500 RPM. It would just stop. And I did this, but I did the plugs and wires. I just used cheapy auto lights. Like I said, I know nothing about Fords. I'm not a Ford guy. I did cheapy auto lights and a cheap set of plugs, or cheap set of wires, and I just threw everything together because I'm used to Chevy. And of course, I slathered everything in anti-seize and freaking dielectric. And boy, is that a mistake, apparently. I had to take everything out, clean them out. I still got the cheapy spark plug wires on it, but that's all the plug wires, because I read you can't let 7 and 8 touch each other. 7, the plug wire can't be where it meets the boot. It can't be anywhere near a metal opening, especially the dipstick. That's what it says. And then 2 and 4 cannot be anywhere close to each other. But there's diagrams for it. You lay it all out, and I haven't tried it yet because I just finally got done doing all that, actually. But I just wanted to show this video, and I had to take this apart again anyway because I'm a dumbass and used RTV on it, because then again, like I said, I'm used to carburetors, and I've always put RTV on my carburetors, on the seals, both sides, and this made a massive air leak, and that was another problem I had after all that. But yeah, the thing was just running terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I'm hoping, since I got everything cleaned up and all the anti-seize out of it, and just used a dab of dielectric in all the plugs, it'll run better. I'm hoping, like it does when it's cold, because if it runs like it does when it's cold, I'll be a very happy camper. I might actually even consider keeping this truck. But at the moment, if it's going to be like this, I'm going to get rid of it. But anyway, so you see here on my voltmeter, I got 0.98. And now a lot of guys are worried about, oh, you gotta be really close to 5 volts at wide open, at WOT, wide open throttle. And that's actually, I'm not sure what it was. I can't remember. Let's see here now. Oh, which way did I gotta move this? Hold on, let me set you down here. See if I can set it down where you can read it. Oh, sorry guys, sorry about all this. Okay. Now that's around what I've been seeing most people have. This is in the mid to high 4.6s. So I'm happy with that. And I don't know how otherwise you would have to adjust that. I don't know if you got to run a different power wire or what. But oh, now it's reading high. I have to back her off a little bit. Anyway, that's how you do that. You just, that sensor, like I said, you do that housing, because a lot of people say, well, I've read it a couple times, that they use that screw in the top where the throttle hammer is, where it would be like an idle screw on anything else. But I've read in a bunch of places, more times than not, that that's factory set and not to mess with it, because that you got to set a certain gap for your flapper deals there on the throttle body. So I'd rather take that advice and just adjust everything down in this instead of messing with that, because now you're messing with airflow inside there. So I believe this is the correct way. If anybody has anything to comment, something I missed, something I did wrong, or something you got questions about, please let me know. Thanks guys. Like I said, I wanted this video on here because I've been trying for a while to find something, an actual video showing how to do it, because I learn much better by being shown or watching than I do reading. Reading just fucking confuses me. Anyway, y'all have a good one.